It's time for us to take our auto segment now, and we have the amazing Ayo Shofela here. And I'm, learning a thing or two from her. We're talking about suspension and things to look out for on your suspension. Now, Yomi mentioned inside that if your suspension has issues, you're not moving anywhere. But the first question for me is, what exactly is in your suspension? Does it comprise of many parts?
Exactly.
Okay.
Suspension of a car comprises of so many parts. You can't actually place a number to the amount of parts you find on the suspension because they differ from vehicle to vehicle. But in the real sense, there are some very, very key parts that must be in the suspension.
Okay.
Take, for instance, the shock absorber.
Okay.
You cannot have a vehicle without a shock absorber.
All right, so now I think we need to point and focus on some of these things you're talking about. So the shock absorber seems to be right up here.
Yes, this is the shock absorber assembly. It comprises of the shock itself and then the spring.
Okay, so you need to talk to the viewers as well. Okay. And as you're talking to the viewers, you talk to me. I'm fine, but what is it about this that the viewers need to look out for?
Okay, as a layman, you cannot take off your tire and start checking all these things. But one of the ways that you can identify when you have a bad shock is your car won't be balanced anymore. You have a case where the car is slightly tilted to one side, or one side seems lower. Sometimes it's both sides, so you find out that it looks lower than your car should actually look. Okay. That's a sign that your shock absorber is bad. Okay. Then also when you're going on a rough road, you find out that every road impact, you feel it in the car. Oh, so that's when you have that boom, boom, boom feeling.
Exactly. Okay.
And there's no comfort anymore. You find out that you get into a pothole, boom, boom. Okay. That tells you that your shock absorbers are bad.
Okay. All right.
So that's just one of the major components you find in the car. Another thing is the brake disc. Okay. This is the brake disc. Now, the brake assembly as a whole comprises of the brake disc, the brake caliper, and the brake pads, which are in here.
Okay, so the brake pads, I can't really see them, but you're pointing.
This is the brake pad here.
Okay, in there.
Yeah.
Okay. So now, what do I look out for when it comes to those aspects?
Like I said, you can't take your tire off like this generally, but one way to know when your brake pads are low, the brake fluid in there, which I know I've spoken about severally, the fluid goes down. Okay. Because it has to complement the brake pad that has gone low. Now, if the camera can zoom in here, you probably see that this brake pad is very, very low. Very, very low.
This particular TVC vehicle's brake pad is low. Ayo, you should have covered us in that area. But not to worry, go ahead.
So that is the brake pad. That is a known thing on cars. Suspension comprises of that. Then you also have the stabilizer linkage. Okay. This is it, this long rod here. Okay. That's the linkage.
What usually happens to that linkage that is visible to the naked eye?
It has a joint, ball and socket joint in here. Okay. You can't see it as a car owner. Only your mechanic will be able to do this check for you. Okay. But when this goes bad, you hear serious noise on the car.
Okay, all right then. So it should give you a funny sound, like a clanking sound or a scraping sound? What sort of sound?
More like a clanking sound.
Clanking sound. Okay, fantastic.
Then you have the tie rod over here.
The tie rod. Okay.
The tie rod connects to the steering rack. And this is what assists you with turning. Okay. So if you're turning the steering and you feel like you have more clearance in your steering, there's every probability that the tie rod is bad.
Okay, so when you said more clearance, you were looking at me like as if I'm supposed to understand what the clearance thing is. Oh yeah, so when you say more clearance.
If you're a professional driver, when you're turning your steering, you expect that as you're turning it, you're getting your accurate turning from the vehicle. Okay. Now there are times when you turn the steering and the vehicle moves too much, or it doesn't move enough. Okay. In that case, your tie rods are bad.
All right then. So, okay, go ahead.
Also, pertaining to the tie rods, alignment also comes into play. So you find that your steering is straight, you're driving, but your car is moving to one side.
Oh, I've heard of that before.
Exactly.
I have. Okay,
all right. That also tells you that tie rods are bad.
So can we go from the beginning again? The first aspect you mentioned was
the shock absorber.
Shock absorber.
Exactly.
Then you talked about the
brake
brakes.
assembly, the brake disc, the caliper, and the brake pads.
Okay. And then the last one was?
The third one was the stabilizer linkage, which is this. Okay. And then the tie rods.
The tie rod. So you'll be hearing all sorts of noises.
Funny sounds.
Oh, wow. And if you start hearing those sounds, you should get to your mechanic immediately.
You find cars that break down on the road when they shouldn't actually break down. But it's more like a case where the owner has been like, I'll fix it, I'll fix it, I'll fix it, I'll fix it.
All right.
And then it ends up breaking down.
We have to wrap this up now, but thank you so much, Ayo Shofela, for this insight. I'm going to be doing some Googling myself.